Our top stories at this hour will begin with President Bola Tinubu's vow to fish out the perpetrators of the Okuama military massacre of March the 14th in Oweli South local government area of Delta State, in which 17 officers and men of the Nigerian army were killed. The president, who was special guest of honor at the burial ceremony of the military men who were said to have gone to the community on a peace mission, applauded the military for their restraint.
We shall do, ministers.
On behalf of a grateful nation, we honor the sacrifice of Ali and the other gallant patriots who died that day. They will forever be remembered as heroes who answered the call of duty and paid the ultimate price. Each man now belongs to the hallowed list of servicemen and women who defended our country and protected their fellow Nigerians, not minding the risk to their own lives. They have all been awarded now a posthumous national honor. The 4 gallant officers have been accorded the award of members of the Order of Niger, MON. The 13 courageous soldiers who also lost their lives have been awarded the Officers of the Federal Republic Medal. I commiserate with the families of our fallen heroes and the entire armed forces. I share in their pain and grief, the grief you carry today. It is my prayer that God will comfort all who are bereaved as a result of this tragedy. I want to make it clear once more that those who committed this heinous crime will not go unpunished.
The president's vow to fish out the perpetrators is also echoed by the chiefs of defense and army staff, who also spoke about the people that they left behind.
It's no longer news that 17 of the Nigerian Army's finest men, whom we have come to bury, were murdered in a reprehensible manner on the 14th of March this year in Okuama community in Delta State, while they went on a legitimate peacemaking mission. It grieves my heart that it took our search and recovery effort over 72 hours to recover some vital organs of the decapitated and disemboweled bodies of my men that were scattered all over the Okuama community by the community youths and their friends. I consider it the most barbaric act any citizen or community can commit against the authority of the state. And I must place on record that a lot of restraints have been exercised so far in our search and recovery efforts for missing arms, ammunition, other equipment, and body parts.
Well, the fight against oil theft continues in the Niger Delta region. This time, the NSCDC has uncovered illegal refining sites in Rivers and Okuama states. The NSCDC authorities maintain that the efforts are being stepped up to curb crude oil thefts to the barest minimum and to fit the criminals.
Look at the nature of this illegal operation taking place in this vicinity, you will know there is a cartel involved. By the time we start our investigation, a thorough investigation indeed, we will unravel the mystery behind this unscrupulous and nefarious activity.
Now to economic matters, in what it describes as a strategic move to strengthen the nation's economic governance framework and ensure robust and coordinated economic planning and implementation, the presidency has announced the establishment of the Presidential Economic Coordination Council, that's the PECC, and the creation of the Economic Management Team Emergency Task Force, the EET. A statement by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to the President, Ajirin Gilale, outlined the membership of the PECC as follows. The President will chair. The Vice President, Kashim Shettima, will be Vice Chairman. Also on the Council is the President of the Senate, a Chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum, the Coordinating Minister for the Economy and Minister of Finance, Governor of the CBN, and 12 ministers. The key members of the organized private sector will also be a part of the council, joining for a period of 1 year, subject to the President's directive, and they include Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Mr. Tony Elumelu, Alhaji Abdulsamad Rabiu, Ms. Amina Maina, amongst others. Well, the formation of these teams, according to the statement, will complement existing economic governance structures, including the National Economic Council, the NEC, which is chaired by the Vice President. Well, the Economic Management Team Emergency Task Force, the EET, on the other hand, which replaces the Economic Management Team for the time being, is mandated to submit a comprehensive plan of economic interventions for 2024 to the Council. Well, the released students of the LEA Primary and Government Secondary School, Kuriga, in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State have been reunited with their parents after 3 days since they were released. The children were handed over to their families by the Secretary to the Kaduna State government on behalf of the Governor, Governor Obasani. The parents of the rescued children were excited and relieved to be reunited with their wards after more than 2 weeks of sleepless nights and tense anxiety. They commended the efforts of the security agencies and intervention of the state government. Well, let's talk politics now. After days of protest and controversies, Mr. Julius Abure has been re-elected as the national chairman of the Labour Party by 387 delegates at the 2024 National Convention of the party in Nnewi, Anambra State. The chairman of the National Convention and Deputy Governor of Abia State, Mr. Ikechukwu Emetu, declared him winner after the delegates' hand affirmation.
I want to express my deepest appreciation and gratitude to all the delegates to this national convention for the trust and the confidence reposed in us to continue as members of the National Working Committee. I also want to appreciate our own Deputy Governor and through him to all others from Abia State who came to assist us in giving life to this program today.
More stories now. The federal government has declared Friday, March the 29th and Monday, April the 1st as public holidays to mark the 2024 Easter celebration. A statement by the Permanent Secretary of the Minister of Interior, Mrs. Aisha Tundayako, says the Minister of Interior, Mr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, who made the declaration on behalf of the federal government, urged Christian faithful and all Nigerians to emulate the sacrifice and love of Jesus Christ, who died to redeem mankind. The minister further urged Nigerians to show acts of charity and generosity in alleviating the material conditions of less privileged Nigerians. Business news now. In a rapid succession of changes, the exchange rate used for customs, import duties and cargo clearance has seen its fifth consecutive decline in less than 2 weeks. From 1,612 naira per dollar on March the 15th, it has now dropped to 1,405 naira 46 kobo per dollar. That's according to data from the Nigeria Customs Service. But these fluctuations highlight a consistent devaluation trend, showing the naira's resilience against other currencies across both the parallel and the official foreign exchange market. That would actually mean the naira gaining, not being devaluated. Meanwhile, over the last 2 weeks, there's been a consistent and significant surge in the naira's value, rising from 1,615 per dollar to 1,382 naira per dollar, and that's March the 26th. And outside the country, two bodies have been recovered under the collapsed Baltimore bridge. And the bodies of the two people were recovered from a red pickup truck which was submerged under the waters where the Baltimore bridge collapsed, while an operation to recover the bodies of 4 more people presumed dead continues after a container ship crashed into a bridge in the U.S. city of Baltimore. The 2 victims have been named as 35-year-old Alejandro Hernandez Fuentes and 26-year-old Dolian Roniel Castillo Cabrera. The U.S. Coast Guard says more than 1.5 million gallons of fuel, oil, and cargo containing hazardous materials are on that ship, but there is no danger to the public. Over here in Africa, voter collation is over in Senegal, and Mr. Diomaye Faye has officially been declared the winner of Senegalese presidential elections, winning 54.28% of votes in the first round. Report from the country's vote counting commission, which falls under the judiciary, states that Mr. Faye placed well ahead of the governing coalition's candidate, former Prime Minister Amadou Ba, who had 35.79% of the votes. And on to sports news. Spanish prosecutors want the ex-head of the country's football federation, Luis Rubiales, jailed for 2.5 years after he kissed a female footballers at Spain's World Cup victory. He is facing charges of sexual assault and coercion after he grabbed Jenny Hermoso and kissed her on the mouth last August. Now, according to a court document seen by Reuters, prosecutor Marta Durantes charged Mr. Rubiales with 1 count of sexual assault and 1 count of coercion, charges which carry prison terms of 1 year and 18 months, respectively. Well, those are the top stories at this hour. As you can tell, some of them will form a major part of our conversation on the show and in the coming days. But let's now turn our attention to what you are saying about the top stories on the news this morning.